Hello and welcome. This is Wayne, AC9HP, and I'm going to show a quick video on how to program the Radioddity GD-77 Radio for DMR. The first thing you need to do is find your repeater and find information on your talk groups for the repeater that you want to program your radio for. In this case, I'm using the Crossroads DMR repeater NF9K. This repeater has a wide area coverage in the Indianapolis area, and all the information you need is on the website for this repeater, and hopefully your trustee has all the information you need on a website or a Facebook group for your repeater. As you can see, we have the frequency, the offset, and the color code. Those are some key pieces of information you need. The next information that you need are the talk groups. Now there's 2 time slots on a DMR repeater, time slot 1 and time slot 2, and the talk groups have an ID and a name. The name is not as important as the talk group ID. This ID tells the DMR radio how to talk to that group, and the name is just the label that you can use for the DMR radio. Next, we open up the DMR GD-77 code plug software. This is the programming software, and there are some basic things you need to do to set up your radio for DMR. In the general settings, you need to set the radio ID up to your DMR number. Your DMR number is received by going to the DMR mark database and requesting the DMR mark ID. This ID is used for all repeater systems in the amateur world that I know about, and this number basically is a cross-reference to your call sign. If you have multiple call signs, you'll need multiple DMR IDs for those different call signs. Once you have this set up, you're then ready to program the talk groups into the radio. The next step is to add your contacts, specifically digital contacts, which are group contacts for your talk groups. And to add one, you right click on digital contacts and click add, and then click on group call, or you can just simply click on digital contact and push enter, and then a new digital group will be added at the bottom. In this case, contact 31 was added. You open up the contact and you give the contact a name and a call ID, and that call ID is the talk group ID that we saw on the website. So in the case of the NF9K repeater that I am programming, you will see that, like COM1 for instance, is talk group ID 03777215, and if you're interested in the USA 1776, the talk group ID for that is 1776. Once you've added all of your talk group IDs into the digital contacts, you then need to set up what's called a receive group. A receive group is very similar setup. You basically make a new receive group list by pushing enter or by right clicking. I'm sorry, I have too many. Right now they only allow 16, so I want to delete one to show you how to add one, but basically just right click and click add, or again push enter on the list. So you can click on the receive group list and push enter and it should add another one. So the receive group is given a name. Okay, there we go. The receive group is given a name and a member in that receive group. You can have multiple contacts in your receive group, but if you want to keep your sanity, you will have one receive group for each talk group. And this will allow you to set up a channel so that you can receive and transmit to that talk group on that channel. On most DMR radios, I'm told that you don't actually need receive groups, but with this radio, it seems that you have to have them at this point in time. Whether that's a bug or not, I'm not sure, but for now, just make a receive group for each talk group that you want to have in the radio. So the next step is to set up a channel. And a channel can be either analog or digital. and we're talking about digital now, so I'll double click on the NF9K COM1 and show you how that's configured. The channel basically has the information about the repeater in it. So you have your name, the fact that it's digital. You'll have your receive frequency, your transmit frequency, and then you'll have some other information that includes a scan list, which currently is configured to a wrong scan list, but we'll change that now. And then there's some other information about the digital mode that you have to enter, which includes the color code, the receive group, and the contact name. So in this case, the contact should be the NF9K COM1, and the color code is 1, and the repeater time slot was 1, and the receive group should also be COM1. So now this talk group is configured for this channel. If we go up here, you can see where you put a label for the name of your group, which is the NFK COM1. So now that you have a talk group configured, you have to configure a zone. To configure a zone, you go to the zone list here, and again you can click on the zone list and push enter, and it will create a new zone for you. So there's my new zone, zone 6. Or you can right click and hit add. In this case I'm going to right click and delete zone 6. Currently in the software, if you try to rename or copy and paste these zones, bad things seem to happen, so your best bet is to create the zones and do a good job the first time and make them right. So I'm going to double click on my NF9K time slot 1 zone, and as you can see, the zone is just a list of all the channels that are in this zone. So those are all the channels that are available, including analog. And this is a list of all the zones that I've actually added to this zone, which is called NF9K time slot 1. Once you have all your zones created, and all your contacts, and all your channels, and all your receive groups created, you can plug your USB cable in, connect it to the radio, turn your radio on. I usually wait to count to 5 before I write to the radio, but it may not take that much time. You then go to program, write, and you'll watch the radio write. If you notice on the radio, there's a flashing light going on as it's writing, and it says memory probe. When it's done at 100%, the radio will reset. And there it is. The radio is now programmed. And we have a message that says write done. And now you're ready to use your radio on DMR.